I'ma make sure that they notice me. Yeah, they gon' notice me. I'ma make sure that they notice me. Yeah, they gon' notice. I'ma make sure that they notice me. Yeah, they gon' notice. I'ma make sure that they notice me.
Tachiko, Tachiko,
My light shine when they see me. Disrespect when they greet me. I'm Yuri for real, but you ain't gotta believe it. Ain't ashamed, I love y'all. And since I know they listening, it's only right I go out. And I'ma make sure that they notice me. I'ma make sure that they notice me. Yeah, they gon' notice me. I'ma make sure that they notice me. Yeah, they gon' notice me. I'ma make sure that they notice me. Testing 1, 2 is breezy. People watch me like TV. They tryna stop us from breathing. To kill us off ain't gon' be easy. Dedicated, no stopping. Like grassing us be plotting. They wanna stop us from walking like Cornwall. Let's get it poppin'. I got these folks in my business, asking what I believe in. What's the move for the weekend? Man, these people don't listen. My homeboy said that they tripping. Don't switch up, keep it different. I see you tough and focused, and yeah, I hear resistance. All these temptation that they throwing at me for the first time, and I'm actually happy this is real talk. It feels like I'm no longer rapping. I'm gonna keep killing beats. Make sure my chest go hard. I rep Yahuwah and they pissed cause I nigga. My light shine when they see me. Disrespect when they greet me. I'm Yuri for real, but you ain't gotta believe it. I go hard for my squad. Ain't ashamed, I love y'all. And since I know they listening, it's only right I go hard. And I'ma make sure that they notice me. 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 The Yahoo D make them jealous. They want us to be some fellas. They know we hot, dog. They can't catch up. They mustard and relish. Tryna mock how we dressing. Tell them schools now in session. We can hook you on the game, boy. We passing our lessons, man. Shouts out to my uncle and my I keep representing. Leading by an example for Chicago women and children. Living right to the standard. My rock, I bring in the hammer. And we ain't beefing more. We had to go and take up the pamper. I gotta find a resting place for my soul. I can't keep confessing, yeah, cause it's getting low. I dropped the baton, I picked it right off the floor. And tell the shaman yes, and tell the devil hell no. My light shine when they see me. It's respect when they greet me. I'm your hoodie for real, but you ain't gotta believe it. I go hard for my squad. Ain't the
Blog Talk Radio.
We're about to take it back.
Ladies and gentlemen, here it is, the most listened to radio show on the planet.
This station is now the ultimate power in the universe.
Tony can't use me on the radio. The love doctor trying to teach on the radio. We about to get live on the radio. Two mics and a mind on the radio. Radio, turned up 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 on the radio. Tonight, and the mind. Tonight, and the mind. Tonight, and the mind. Tonight, and the mind.
Hello, and welcome to Two Minds in the Mind.
What up?
One of your hosts, and I'm joined with my co-hosts, some of them. Hi, Love Doctor. Hi, the resident Joe. How you guys doing?
Hey. What is going on? I am doing good, I'm feeling good, and I'm looking good. What more can I say?
My apologies. Hey, girl. Hey.
Hello, how are you guys? How you doing? I'm doing great on this day. Happy to be here with you guys today.
Oh, that's awesome, Dr. Joe. Tula, y'all, we've been going pretty good.
Yeah. How about you?
Things been going all right. No complaints at all. I tell you what, I just been going through the ups and downs and the vicissitudes of life. like the way that word sounded, vicissitudes of like the ups and downs. Has anybody out there on the sound of my voice been experiencing the vicissitudes?
What is the word you're saying?
Vicissitudes.
He's trying to say he was a test tube. He was a test tube. And somebody pissed in the tube. They pissed in the tube.
Is that Tony? What's going on, buddy?
Listen, man. Trying to make $1 out of 15 cents. I'm wore out and tired. Trying to make it in. Trying to get my health back. How y'all doing this afternoon or after night, however time it is, or wherever place that these lovely people might be and where y'all at?
It's been beautiful out here. I'm doing great. The weather hasn't been so bad. 70 degrees. How are you guys? How's the weather over there, George?
We had some great weather. All of a sudden, the winter blew back in here. We had them nice 70 days, and I tell you, I can't take that pollen, but I was like, goodness. Rain came in, cold came in. It's like we never had them warm days.
Oh, yeah, it's been going up and down. Next week is supposed to be nice again.
Well, that's well, we ain't going to be mad at it.
I can take it.
Yes.
Yeah, we'll take it. We like Uncle Earl. We'll take it how we get it. Yeah, I take it how I get it.
Yeah,
how we got it. Yeah. So what's been going on with everybody so far this week?
Man, I'm doing my best to make the world a better place. That's what we doing.
So you're leaving, huh? Wow. I mean, the man people make it a better place. We do that too. Whatever we can do to help the world. I know one thing. I'm tired of hearing about these Ukrainians. You know what I'm saying? If you're Ukrainian, you listen in. There's nothing against you. It's against you and your people. This is ridiculous. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of commercial about give money to you. I'm sick of how you're doing it, but you're the strongest people in the world and you can't be beaten. You're going to stomp them out and kill them, then you're begging for help. I'm so confused. If you're strong, you don't need no help. Don't ask nobody to be doing that and then running everybody else down
right
on how great you are. Do it yourself. Fight them. Don't ask for no tanks and nothing else. It's your country. Fight for your home. Somebody come to my home, I don't need no help. I can handle it. Because you shouldn't have came, and it's my job to make sure you don't leave. I don't get it. I'm confused. I'm sick of America and how much money the man give them $10 billion, then they turn around and make it $13 billion, and then the Senate vote or the Congress vote to give them $14 billion, but you can't get a nigga reparation. I am pissed with all of them. I'm sick of Russia's lying. You fooled us with rockets. You fooled us in the Olympics with you sitting here doping your people up. Then you fooled us, had everybody think you this great war machine. Then you got your tanks breaking down, your people getting killed. They showing they all numps go. Y'all seen the video where they been just drunk? One of the soldiers went and raped the woman. He was drunk. He was laying in the floor. He done tore up some stuff in a restaurant or something. Did y'all see the video?
No, wow. I didn't know.
Where was all that?
It's drunk. This the news person is interviewed. The Joker is knocked out on the floor. I thought he was dead. They had a mic hold on. He is drunk, laid out, accused of raping a citizen. These guys raping women, sloppy drunk, just a complete mess.
Oh, you mean the soldiers up there?
The soldiers, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Wow. I haven't seen that.
You can't blame them without blaming the U.S. soldiers that did raping in Afghanistan and Iraq now. So this is a taught behavior now. This ain't just a behavior of the Russians. I don't know why they're going to try to expose the Russians and don't tell the truth about themselves here now. The same behavior. Peacekeepers from the UN, they've been busted, raping women. So I mean, this is a pattern. War is easy sex and destruction on victims. This is why these countries push where citizens don't have guns. So the police, so the military can walk in and take your goods and rape you at any time. The so-called founding fathers of America knew their children and knew the citizens need guns. You cannot allow the government to be the only person to possess guns. Then the citizens become prisoners and victims of their own government. That's why the Democrats push and want guns out. $50 for your gun. You have to be dumb. If you got a gun, you should be able to get $50.
That's true. That's definitely true. Absolutely. You're right about that.
I just want to say from the top of my lungs, I am sick of hearing about Ukrainians, how strong, how great you are, how invincible you are, and you are begging for help. You have more food, more water, more arms, more ammunition than the so-called Negro in America who built America, who bled for America, who saved America from the Indians, from the British. We saved them from Hitler. And we are disgraced, unappreciated, shamed, despised by this government and its people. But besides that, I'm all right.
I agree.
Hey, well, in the words of my grandma, it's always good to be amongst the land of the living while the blood is flowing warm in your veins.
That's correct. Your grandmama said she didn't realize what kind of people we were among. It's good to be alive, but it can be better. A whole lot better if we were liberated.
That's so
real
true.
Right. Independency.
That's so true.
So we living, but not our full potential.
That's right. I was looking at the news. I seen how they contributing all these millions and millions of dollars to this Ukrainian war and all, but yet they can't give us reparations. That's amazing in itself.
You talking about our country, America alone has donated over $14 $350 million. That's not including in weapons and ammunition and food. Then how many other countries are contributing? These people are doing better. How do you do better in a time of war than you were doing in peace? We have done terrible when it's been peace in America because we didn't get peace and we don't have peace. And we do even worse when it's war. We will suffer the most in America. They would tell us to pull up our bootstrap, but everybody with light color hair and blue eyes will be supported, will be protected. They're giving these men a standing ovation. When the so-called Negroes stand up for their rights and refuse to back down, you are against the country, you are a terrorist. They're Russians. They can call themselves what they want to. They are Russians. I'm not validating their death. I'm just looking at the fact we're not being supported behind our deaths.
Not at all. Not at all. And speaking of being pissed, man, I was watching the news. I seen where they have this guy in Detroit. He's some professor. He's a so-called black guy saying that he's on his way to get a plane ticket to fly over there to help out the war to defend Ukraine because they're being mistreated. Yeah. I don't get that. That's in itself.
Yeah. Ain't nobody in Detroit being mistreated. Motown, Chevron, all the big three automakers. You can't sell a rat light at night. It's so terrible in Detroit. You know, that's one of the few states, cities that you can stop and go on red. I'm talking about stop and go, not sit and wait. You can stop and go. Because you will be carjacked. And you tell me about some Ukrainians? We got Chicago. They don't need help.
Exactly.
We got Los Angeles. We got Gay. They don't need help. We got Atlanta. We got Miami. All these cities around here. You tell me about somebody else need help? That's retarded. Fix your own house first.
Yep.
You right about that.
They ain't no position to help nobody. We got Kamala Harris, the first dumbest black woman in America. I hope she stays on the calendar and be the first dumbest black woman in the world.
I agree.
This woman had the vocabulary and intelligence of a retarded preschooler. It's a joke. They laugh her to scorn behind her stupidity. Did y'all hear her explain about Russia? The man said, can you break it down in layman's terms? She said, Russia is this place, like a really big place. And Ukraine is like this small place. And Russia wants to invade the small. I said, well, this kid, are you serious?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. She sounded very illiterate. Yep.
If little stupid had a face, it would be her.
Oh.
Wow.
Those that have a mental illness, please, I'm not picking at you. The woman needs to be the face for mental stupidity. It makes no sense to be that dumb. She was a disaster when she was a federal prosecutor. She was behind and she promoted the incarceration of her own people. She has never done anything for people of color. That's why they put her in the position. She was terrible. Her record was terrible as a federal prosecutor.
Man, if you really go down her record and see how much detriment that she caused to the quote unquote black folks, you'll be amazed.
Tony.
Yeah.
Tony.
Yeah.
Can you get that? There's a bag with the thing in there on that counter. It's a bag on the counter with a something in it. Can you get it to the guy that's outside, please?
Okay, I'm gonna fight somebody. I got a man coming to my house looking for something for a bag. Okay.
What kind of transaction y'all got going over there?
If it's not the right thing, the man will tell you. But anyway.
That's a lot going on. But it's a lot going on out here in this world. It just makes absolutely positively no sense. But I tell you, at the end of the day, it all goes down to, you know, us being more informed, us asking ourselves, what are we willing to do? What can we do? Strategizing, planning, is there a way? What's the best way to do it? And one thing that I found that was really, really informative to me, truly, is I was raised up to think and feel as though, quote unquote, black people could never work together. But as I did a little more and more research, believe it or not, contrary to what I was told, there were thriving cities, thriving communities established by blacks that have all pretty much been wiped out. I was amazed. Actually, you know, originally I was told about Tulsa, you know, quote unquote, the Black Wall Street.
Yes.
But oh no, there were dozens. Yes. There was way more than just Tulsa. And I came to find out I actually had a chance to visit 2 different areas. I never knew that's what it was. It was amazing. Oh yeah.
Oh, well, I mean, let me see. There was one I just learned about too. It's called. Oh, what is it called? Well, go ahead and tell me.
Whereabouts is it located at?
Oh, it's in there, but it's called Greenwood. Where's Greenwood? Is it? I'm trying to think. But anyway, so I learned about that city called Greenwood.
Oh yeah, what you learned about it? What happened to that city?
Same thing. Greenwood. Hold on. No. I'm trying to remember. It was on a show with I'm sorry, you guys.
So are you sure? Because the district in Tulsa, Oklahoma, was referred to as the Greenwood District.
Okay.
So that's what you're referring to when you say Greenwood.
Okay. Yes. Maybe that's yes. Yep. The Greenwood District. That's the district. Yeah. That was in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and it's supposed to be still there. That's where the businesses and things were. I didn't know. I had never heard of Greenwood, but I had heard of Tulsa. There's a district in Tulsa. It's like the city. It's like you said, Atlanta and Decatur. If that makes sense. You understand?
I got it so well on the block without. No, they pushed the
can't understand you.
Over to other here. Hello. I think it's good. Can y'all hear me?
It comes and goes.
It's like it's muffled, and then it's like and then it comes up like this. That's what it does.
Hello?
Yeah. We hear you.
Yeah, well, you just said, yep. Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
I
no.
don't know what's going on. Yeah, but anyway, there are a lot of areas where people of color have done well and were astute cities, but they don't do a lot of talking about it. They'd like for us to just know Tulsa. Everybody keeps saying Tulsa.
Right.
I mean,
yeah.
New Orleans, to a lot of people of color, be aware after so-called emancipation and later on so-called liberation of black, they had black mayors and chief of police. And once one of them decided to lock up somebody white, that's when they took everybody out of position and stripped them back down, and they never had it again. You know, I'm gonna put that man somewhere ridiculous. I mean, anyway, put us in that figurehead. Well, the fact that they fight us and they beat us, we're afraid of them. What we learned is people of color use their head, and it's just being honest. It's not being racist, just being true. Mentally, we are taught to be afraid of them because of what they can do, and they're stronger and they're crazy. They're not crazy, no more than Putin is crazy. People with $170 billion don't kill themselves for no reason. They're not blowing up the world. They work too hard for their money. This man right here is afraid of death as anybody else is. He's a failure, just like the average of them are when it comes down to politics. He's not our most astute people. These are our failures. They couldn't make it in business, so they took politics and they take advantage. That's why they always mess the country up. We never had any one of them that ever fixed nothing. I don't know why these ignorant backwood hillbillies keep talking about Trump did something. Trump didn't do anything. He put us behind. They want to brag about $2.79 gas and all these prices. I don't know why they think that's a discount. Gas should have been back down to under $1. Bill Clinton got us over $1. Ronald Reagan pushed us up over $1. Jimmy Carter pushed us over $1. So I don't know why they always trying to make these great white so-called leaders look like somebody did some type of mission of a failure instead of just realize this is a pattern with all of them. They're all failures. They've been failures, and it's our time to start looking at. We have to stop putting our livelihood and our safety and our welfare in the hands of failures. The so-called Negro needs to be responsible for himself. The whites have a government that protects them, that look out for them. Every race needs to have a body of people that's set up, designated for their safety and their welfare. I'm not mad at Ukraine because Ukraine wants to protect their citizens and their people. They should. I'm just pissed when we're becoming terrorists when we say our lives matter. Ukraine lives matter. Nobody labeled them as terrorists. Nobody labeled them as against the government. Nobody labeled them as nobody saying all lives matter. They saying the Ukrainians need help. The Ukrainians, we need to help the Ukrainians. We need to send help arms to the Ukrainians. They're ready for a nuclear war to make sure they protect the white skin. They won't sit down and be fair with us for nothing. I'm sick of it. I'm just sick of it.
Well, okay.
Man, the whole thing's frustrating. The whole entire thing is frustrating. I think some of the things from my eyes, I've never really seen examples. I've never really seen any type of video or even made up fiction TV series that actually literally showed quote unquote black people overcoming the whites. Maybe that might have something to do with the imagery of why it's so hard for me to visualize that in my mind.
What do you mean? What do you mean? Overcoming the whites? You mean like having that? I don't understand what you're saying about that.
I've never seen an illustration where it really showed quote unquote black people being able to continually enact or operate power over a white person.
That's true. It's usually they have the same or they're dwelling with, like you're a doctor, I'm a lawyer, that kind of stuff. And they usually put them on the same level, but not above them.
Mm-hmm. And even when you examine it further, they're really not even on the same exact level.
Because
it's all smoke and mirrors. I remember a couple of years back, the whole thing was this movie called Black Panther. Everybody going to see Black Panther because Black Panther is the first black action hero, and it's finally a time that black people got a black movie. And when you actually look and you examine the movie, when you're looking at the screen, you see black people, but when you look at the credits, you see all these white people and white organizations that own all the royalties and everything to the whole entire thing, and you realize then, if you look at the movie, you see black people, but when you look at the credits, you see all these white people and white organizations that own all the royalties and everything to the whole entire thing, and you realize then, if you look at the movie, you see black people, but when you look at the credits, you see all these white people and white organizations that own all the royalties and everything to the whole entire thing, and you realize then, It ain't a quote unquote black move. That's something that's all white owned and operated.
Black Federal correct. He only got about $700,000 for that movie. And that movie was boxed out very high.
Was that his first?
Oh yeah. I heard that movie was breaking records.
Oh yeah. He did 21 Bridges. He broke that movie. It shot through the roof pretty well, but he only got about, I think he made like $600,000 for that movie.
You right. It ain't broke $1 million.
It was picked up. Yeah.
Based on what people told him that it was going to make, I think it made like $1 billion actually, 1.3, something like that. Yeah. Speaking of him, you heard about him in Atlanta?
What's
being mistaken for a bank robber? We have to come into that video.
Oh, yeah, I heard about that.
Okay, so we're going to take our quick break, and we're going to come back, and we're going to talk about that, okay? So y'all give us a call. Tell us how you feel. 929-477-2762. 929-477-2762. We will be right back.
Yeah.
And the mind.
Raw Products, all natural vegan body products for the entire family. Raw Products can be found on Amazon.com and BarawProducts.com. Follow them on Instagram at Baraw Products. IV Dispatching Services, your trucker's lifeline for transportation, can be reached at 601-433-4242. IV Dispatching Services. Essential Massage, professional massage services with elevations available. Give them a call at 678-379-9664. Be good to your body with an essential massage. Simply Subordinate Residential and Commercial Cleaning. Give them a call at 770-369-0556. The people who make your dirt behave. Simply Subordinate. Panthera Tactical can be reached at www.PantheraTacticalLLC.com. Panthera Tactical would like for you to be your own first responder. PD Custom Printing. PD Custom Printing for all your custom printing needs. Follow them on Instagram at PD Printing17. You can give them a call at 678-855-0022. PD Custom Printing. Ion Wind. Ion Wind are massaging gel insoles and energy bands. www.ionwins.com. Receive 30% off your first order using the coupon code Julie and Tony. Ion Win. Nika's Oils and Detergents. Nika's Oils and Detergents can be reached at 678-421-4327. Nika has the most popular fragrances on the market. 5-gallon laundry detergents as well. Tide, Gain, Free, and Clear. Call Nika's Oils and Detergents. 678-421-4327. Michelle Macwood with Macwood Homes can be reached at 857-891-4545. Contact Michelle for all your real estate needs. Michelle Macwood with Macwood Homes.
I little.
In the mind.
Ooh, somebody. Okay. Oops, sorry. All right. I got everybody back here. Bam. All right. We are back. We are here. We are ready. Whew, okay. We have someone who has something to say. Oh. I have everybody here.
Oh, we got a phone call.
Everybody here?
Please cut your country down. Oh, we got a phone call. Yeah.
Hi, welcome to the show. Just got a little delay. Hello? I'm sorry. Okay. Continue to enjoy the show. Mm-hmm. If you press 1, it's going to bring you to the queue. And we're going to think you want to have something to say. The number to call in is 929-477-2762. 929-477-2762. Also, we have support the business of Jared's Lawn Maintenance. Their telephone number is 770-299-4554. Jared's Lawn Maintenance for your year-round maintenance. They are taking appointments. I think they only have a few more left, so please make sure you get on that rotation. I don't want you to miss out and just have to be like subbed in if somebody should cancel or something like that. So get your spot right now. 770-299-4554. 770-299-4554. Let them come plant those flowers for you. Get you all ready. All right. Total Compliance Plus. If you are starting a trucking business or currently are in a trucking business and you want to make sure that your business is compliant, please call the friendly people at Total Compliance Plus. Their number is 404-254-8581. 404-254-8581. Total Compliance Plus. Putnam Organics. You know the people at Putnam Organics. They're the people who provide you with wonderful organic vegetables and meat, including quail eggs, and freshly. How are the chickens killed? Wait a minute, before I love that. How do they kill the chickens? What did you learn last week?
Oh, we learned some good stuff about the chickens. They kill them in an inhumane way.
Inhumane? Mm-hmm. Okay. They kill them in an inhumane. Okay, that's fine. I will tell you this. They were happy when they were alive. So they lived a nice, full life. So you will have nice, wonderful, round. They are very, very nice. Okay? These are some nice chickens. It's not that chicken like the man say, okay, I'm gonna eat. We're gonna have chicken, and then he's on one who can eat it because he can eat a whole chicken, like a whole rotisserie chicken. No. Not Putman Organics. Check them out at PutmanOrganics.com. Yes, sir.
I got a question. Because I grew up, my grandmama had a farm. She had chicken. Okay. One chicken had 2 wings, right?
Yeah.
10 chickens need 20 wings, right?
Yeah.
If I go to the store and I order 20 pieces of wings, I just killed 10 chickens. But how is it that everybody continue to get all these chickens? Where they getting chickens from? Where they getting all these wings from?
They're getting it from the chickens.
How they mass producing these chickens? Because that's a lot of wings.
Just like you just said. You said it. They're mass producing the chickens. But no, not the friendly people at Putman Organics. They don't mass produce.
That's right.
Like a person has like so many kids, they don't know what, like the old lady in shoes, she got so many kids, they don't know what to do. They don't have so many chickens, they don't know how to take care of them. You understand what I'm saying?
That's right.
So they have.
If you want some real, unadulterated, heirloom chickens, I know the new word is called heirloom. Heirloom. Yeah, heirloom. Heirloom chicken, heirloom fruit, heirloom. That means
I know about
original
tomatoes. Yeah, I've heard of those.
Oh, they ain't just got tomatoes. They got heirloom chickens.
That's okay. That's not what I'm. Okay, that's fine. Heirloom is like I've heard of that with like tomatoes, which is like you have a dark tomato and a yellow tomato and an orange tomato. It's like it's a family or it's something that's, I don't know. I think it has something to do with family or like this is like a squash and a zucchini. I think they're in the same family. Okay, so I'm gonna not continue to talk. So what are we talking about now?
Hey, it's a lot to talk about. It's a lot going on. It's a whole lot going on out here in these streets.
Oh gosh, I can't take it. Woo! I would tell you, I tried something today. Boy, should not. But I did it on purpose because I wanted to try.
What you tried?
What's gonna happen?
What did you try?
Woo! Yes. Mhm. It's pretty nice. Pretty nice. Let's just say that. Ooh, it's pretty nice.
What?
Yeah.
I want to try.
I got you. Hello, caller. Welcome to the show.
Good afternoon, panel.
Hey, Confederate 48, what's going on?
How's everyone tonight?
Pretty good.
Joe, Ross Smith, last but not least, Love Doctor. You guys are discussing a lot of wide variety of things tonight, and everything is interesting to say the least. I thought I would comment a little bit on the frustration in light of everything going on in Ukraine, as Rod Smith had spoke about. Russians fighting the Russians, which is actually a civil war. They're fighting a civil war, and on a worldwide stage, and they're getting all this support, and all of this and all of that, and all the rhetoric flying around, and all the propaganda, and all the stuff that entails what's going on with this war. But at the end of the day, as the Love Doctor so eloquently said about, it's just smoke and mirrors, and it's just it's like a muffler. It's exhausting, It's
that's a good one.
Gosh, I tell you, I'm almost lost for words, but I want to get right to it. They're fighting this war on all fronts. The sanctions and all of this stuff here, and then but the civil war that's going on in the United States of America with the Triple K, in terms of the so-called Negro. I was just watching a couple segments of some news segments, and kind of struck my attention, as it parallels to the Ukrainian incident thing that's going on.
we're fighting a war too. The so-called Negro, just to stay alive. We're being executed by the police officers and things of that nature. But what really disturbs me is how they are using these little ticker tape policies to like Joe Biden, for instance, was talking about in his State of the Union address how he kept emphasizing defund. He's not with defunding the police. I'm not with defunding the police, right? But I can't see how he can actually just so boldly say that when he made all these statements about how he was going to do so much for the so-called Negro, and how the George Floyd bill being passed, and they fought about the what's the congressman name that died recently, that he was one. What is his name?
You say he was a what now?
He was a congressman. He just died. Not Elijah Cummings. Was it Elijah Cummings?
He was black?
No. Yeah. Are you talking about John Lewis? There you have it. Thank you so much.
Here?
Thank you. That's why they have me at the show for, to provide information like that. I'm very knowledgeable. Thank you so much. That's why I'm here. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I'm going around the corner to get next door, so to speak. But anyhow, get right to it. Getting right to it. Okay, so how George Floyd? He was obviously murdered by Chauvin and the other three officers, correct? That
right.
Watch stage, right? It's how all the support was, all of this and stuff, right? But you know what? The going to scuba how do you say it? Scuba analysis. The scuba analysis, yeah. That's right. So what's so appalling about the whole thing is that great job too, so I appreciate you.
I got
they kill us.
Yes.
They don't kill us. They murder us because it's an element of malice. We talked about that last week. So they murder us.
You get a star because Yes, that was you were in class. That's right. You remember that, Wayno?
I think you remember. But they murder us on film. They murder us on camera. They murder us on television. They broadcast it all over the world. And, people join hands and all of this stuff like that. And the terrorist organization group, Black Lives Matter, just, I'm being facetious saying that. But Black Lives Matter, the terrorist group Black Lives Matter, they said, about George Floyd being killed. And so the appalling thing about the whole thing is that, the Ben Crumps of the world and all these other ones that, and even with Ahmaud Arbery and others like him, Freddie Gray, Trayvon Martin, and the list goes on. Castillo Castro, and others, right? So when they get these lawsuits, against these police officers and they sell out of court, the appalling thing about it is, what I just come to find out is, they take the so-called Negroes' money, the taxpayers' money, and they settle these lawsuits. Ain't that something? They already jack the prices up on us in our communities. The price of gas in a prestigious neighborhood is lower than it is in the ghetto, which makes no sense to me anyway. But I'm just saying they take our money, right? Because we're the poorest in the country, but we're the greatest consumers, right? We spend the most money, but that still makes no sense to me, though. I don't understand how could you be the poorest but then the greatest consumer? That still makes no sense to me. I don't understand.
Because you're poor because you spend all your money.
Mm-hmm. But you don't have money.
But you have to spend what you have. You still spend it. If I only have $5 and you got $15, I still got $5 and I just spent $5. I don't have to have 15 to be considered that I got 5.
Yeah, that's true. And so they take our money, right? And they settle out of court, and these murderers get off, and we foot the bill. That's just one I wanted to bring out. But then when it comes to the Ukrainians that are like what Smith said, that they're Russians fighting Russians, which I don't condone the violence, but they were a part of Russia. Nobody talks about when Russia and Ukraine was a part of the Warsaw Pact, back in the 80s. You know what I mean? So why they were fighting, they were enemies of the United States then, but now all of a sudden we fight for their liberty. But then our liberty, we don't even have the right. How is the life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness, which is a part of the Constitution? That's just out of the door, And then nobody wants to talk about the troops. I can't pronounce their name. Maybe y'all can help me. The Tyrell.
What do they do?
Is it the Tyrell? The Tyrell. The Africans that fought to liberate France back in 1945. That's what I was talking about. Nobody talks about that. They were given outdated weapons, right? What was that? Who was it? Hitler back in World War II.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah. A squad of the third battalion of Africans that from Algeria helped liberate France when Hitler was about to actually take over them. They got their liberation on the backs of the so-called Negro Algerians in Africa. And out of 200,000 troops, only 28 of them was actually given citizenship in 1964.
64?
No, 28.
Oh, this is 1960. No, I'm saying 1964.
Right. That's when they were
like a few years ago.
Like a few years ago.
Yeah, like when you were 20 years old. Yeah.
I was not.
But I'm just saying the disparity between how we're treated. We fought for every country on every front around the world, the so-called Negro. And then on the very streets that we walk on, we're not defended. We're actually killed by the people that's supposed to serve and protect us. And it's just. And then I watched another segment about how they blamed the so-called Negro women and women of color, that they were the cause of STDs being spreaded in World War II, right?
The black women?
That's what they said. Interesting.
Wait a minute, how did I never... Whoa. Really?
Yeah,
how did that be possible?
Yeah.
Where did that idea come from?
Exactly. Where did this data come from? And
the data comes from the people that oppress you every day. The first thing you do is I appreciate always your intelligent call and listen. But what people don't realize, I want you to finish your point, is the one thing they beat us with that we don't understand is the negative response. Just like with Putin. If you look at, they beat you on public opinion because the facts come from your oppressor. They told you that he had COVID. Everybody's afraid of COVID. They say he's delusional. This is the same thing they said about him. He was mentally ill. He was doing all these things. So it justifies your demise. So once you teach that black women are the funder and causes, venereal diseases to flourish and causes people to get sick and die, then you naturally build a hate toward them. The white women, the white men, the black men. And so it's not hard to see you ladies being murdered, assassinated, incarcerated, hung in prison, mistreated, raped, because the psychology behind war is to get the hate, is to get public opinion, to formulate them being justified in whatever they do to you. That's why a lot of times you don't find a fight about what happens to you. Right. Women have done a lot of time missing in prison. Never really died in prison, life in prison because of these lies of these people. The same thing they do to us and our black men, and they help fund the hate that we have for each other. I want you to continue, please.
Right. That's a good point you brought out to Smith, because we talked last week. Well, actually, you did some teaching, and you brought up a point that I had discussed a while back about how a lot of our so-called women of color, Negro black women, are being abducted, you know, and just being lost, you know what I mean? Just vanishing. And not just the women of the night, as they would call it, you know, prostitutes, but, you know, young women, the sex trafficking and all of these things like that. And then now they're trying to promote that the black woman back in World War II. And it's just so ironic that they're fighting a war now, and they're saying the women back in World War II, the women of color, were the host of STIs, STDs. But they said the evidence is inconclusive because they found out, you know, later on about the Tuskegee Airmen experiment, that it was actually given to the so-called Negro man by the government to give them syphilis. It was a part of the Ultra. What is it? Ultra K. What is Ultra MD? What is the experiment? Ultra K. Is it Ultra K? Ultra K.
The Tuskegee experiment is when they gave them all syphilis. Was that Tuskegee experiment?
Yes. But it was a part of the Ultra MK. I think it's Ultra MK. If I'm not mistaken, when they use psychotropic drugs such as horse tranquilizers and barbiturates and things of that nature as a psychological warfare they use as well. There it is, MK Ultra. It was a part of the MK Ultra experiment as well. So we've been fighting these type of battles on every front, the so-called Negro, and we're still surviving. But the trauma that we've experienced over the years has been just so atrocious.
Detrimental.
We're fighting just to survive now, you know, and we're being overshadowed by a war that, keep in mind that they promoted this. We don't promote the killing of our young men and our young women. You know, we don't promote these things. We're just ostracized to the point that it's just common, you know. And another point I wanted to also bring out too, about the Del Taco. So I had started a petition, an online petition, and I'm trying to gain some traction on this online petition because you know, had they had their way, they would have really done a number on Rod Smith and Charles Lee. And I'm very, very upset about it. And if it happened to Rod Smith, it wasn't the first time that place had you know, food poisoning. You know, like I said, had it been Ed Hackenberg or David Jameson, you know, it would have something been done. And those, by the way, those are the founders of Del Taco back in September 19th, 1964, when the establishment had opened. So I just want to get that out there that I started an online petition to see where we can go with it.
Like, get your information?
Yes, ma'am. I actually have it on my Twitter at the time, but you can go to change. You can go to change, CHANG.org, and you'll see the petition. It is change, CHANGE.org, and you'll see the petition. It's titled Del Taco No Bueno, amigo. I had to kind of give it a jingle to it, but it's actually serious.
Okay.
But it's, and so I can't stress it enough, because if we don't stand together, you know, they're gonna pick us off one by one. But there's strength in numbers, and I really appreciate you guys having me on tonight. It's always a pleasure. Always, you know.
Absolutely.
So I'm looking forward.
Thank you. We really appreciate that. Ooh.
And you all, shalom. I'll have you all. Good night. Shalom.
Always a great caller.
Great caller. That's the Peter State 48.
That's right.
It's been so kind. Because nobody have to do stuff like that. That was really
No, that's definitely.
That was really big.
I think all those that follow on Twitter help me with it. They block us like a lot of countries. Even I put. They block me, so I can't hit Delta. I send Delta because they really reject. It's not going to show on their site. See, this is things we learn about them too. So we get protests and this. My end is this. How many people out here? And I can afford to pay the doctor bill, but I'm looking at this. Why should I pay it when it's something you've done wrong?
Yeah.
I should not be responsible, nor should my insurance be responsible to pay for your negligence. I want you to pay for it. I ought to be compensated. So you remember how sick I was? And I thought I was leaving. I never had food poisoning. I tell you what, if those of you that never had it, let me tell you something. When you get it, if you ever do it, hopefully you won't. It is a terrible experience. I couldn't stay on the toilet. I was sweating. I had bags of vomit. Am I correct too? Not a bag.
Very uncomfortable situation. And I think they should have compensation for caregivers when people go through things like that, because it's not just, of course it's hard on you, but it's not easy on the person taking care of you. That person has to lack rest, have to look after you, like make sure you're okay, depending on what your situation is. That's a lot of work, especially when you're used to taking care of yourself, and then you throw somebody else in the mix that's an adult that you're not used to taking care of, and you're just using your kids. But that's a lot. People should consider caregivers in situations. If you have a caregiver, the sacrifices that they make could be complicated.
Somebody said switch this about her. Well, you're not used to taking care of them, so she's telling herself she's not used to taking care of them.
No, I'm not. Not like that.
Bedside manner. Woo!
I mean, like, y'all don't want to know what I had to do, so I don't want to say all that, but it's a lot. First of all, everybody who knows that I do not do vomit.
Do not call her if you're busy.
I can't hear you. If you talk about
those who don't know, every time a caregiver will come out, listen, don't call her over 2 times. Everything you need, ask that one time. That second time you come, she look, I might be considered real. That one was terrible, no.
Did you say something?
Yes.
Hello?
Hello?
Hello? We hear you. You're muffled.
Hello? Very muffled.
Very muffled. I don't know what you're doing, but we got a call.
Mm-hmm.
Now we hear you. Hello, caller. Welcome to the show.
Well, hello, Tuli. Thank you for having me.
Hi. How are you? Where you been?
Where have I been? You guys only have a show on once a week. Didn't you? Wasn't I on last week?
No, you weren't.
No?
You were not on last week.
Wasn't?
And if we come on once a week and you listen to everybody else 5 times a week, I think we can at least get Thursday.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I thought you wouldn't let me on after that story I told about when I was a relationship counselor. I thought for sure you would never let me on the show again after putting that poor guy on hold. So
have you heard my call? Please. It take a lot to talk to those guys.
No, so nothing. I thought I'd drop in and find out what you guys are talking about. Because most of the time it's interesting, and I'd like to participate in it.
Okay,
so I wanted to find out.
White people. Why are white people mean to black people? Why do y'all do us like that? That's what we're talking about.
I can tell you why. I mean, to be serious.
Yes, tell me why. I would love to know why, for real.
All right. White people have an inferiority complex.
Oh.
As a result, they have to overcompensate by taking a look at the lowest people on the totem pole, the lower economic strata, and take it out on them. It's the same as blacks taking it out on Puerto Ricans taking it out on whoever they can, the Chinese take it out on the Japanese, etc. Everybody has a corrupted sense of self. And as a result, they have to do something to other people in order to compensate for
it. Makes sense to a degree. Okay. Make sure we always want to make sure we know it's not every individual person. I guess the people, the masses. When I say the masses could be 5%, but that mass is large enough to where it has the power to control what happens economically, racially, healthcare, educational, and what needs to happen. What you said, George, is true. And it's kind of vice versa. It's the Japanese with the Chinese. They felt like they'll feel like they're more superior to Chinese. And people need to be able to engage in these conversations without being violent with one another and be able to hear each other with the ears of, let me hear what you're saying, where you're coming from. Let me just see if it makes sense if I stick myself in your shoes and how you would look at it. And then we all see where we can come in and bond and heal. Because I think the white and black, fight argument has gone on so long. This should have been, it should have been accomplished years ago. I mean, right. On both ends. Because it's like, okay, you weren't saying it. Okay, we're saying it's still happening. I don't know why we hadn't sat down long enough to say, let's just get to the bottom of this so we can move on past it. Because it's never going to happen until we do that. And it's not the government. Well, I said not the government. The government keeps the divide between the people. The average black person doesn't want to try to make it. They care less. The average white person, same thing. Let me have my place, my space. Let me do what it is I do. But the governments get in, then they push the homosexuality, or they do something that they know that causes that friction. So we all never become, acquainted with one another enough to be able to have conversation cordially and come up with a rational solution. And then we move toward that change. The governments get involved. The governments push in the police. They push in the military, National Guard. Then, the whole thing just more or less festers and becomes worse because we as people, we don't get to talk. We don't ever really, news don't focus on us talking to one another, us coming up with resolutions. They'll show governments, and governments ignore it. And that's, I think, is a majority of our problem. But go ahead, Joe.
Well, the governments could have done away with racism a long time ago. Because it ostensibly is trying to do away with racism now. As you know, with the hate crimes and the PC and all that good stuff, they're imposing penalties upon people who do these so-called hate crimes. Or if you do microaggressions in the wrong way at the wrong time, on the job, you can be fired for it. This could have been done a long time ago, but it wasn't. Well, why is it being done now? I wondered about that. And it is, in the last 10 years in particular, not because they want to try to get people together. They're using hate crimes in PC as a way of keeping people apart. Because in my opinion, the government, not just the United States, but the governments all around the world, regardless of whether they're dictatorships. Now, that's obvious for dictatorships. But even with republics like ours, or with countries like Germany, France, England, Portugal, Brazil, Spain, etc., Austria, they all want to control citizens. And if you have a corrupt enough government, then the people who lead that government want to become literally gods, like Nero, Caligula, and Caesar, and Hitler and Stalin. It's all part of human nature. Human nature does what it wants to, when it can, and has very little regard for people who are not especially family. Just so happens that blacks are very easily identifiable, Asians are identifiable, and whites are identifiable from each other. There was also, wars between the Italians and the Irish when they got here, and blacks were not the only ones to suffer during prior to the Civil War and prior to the 1776, the Revolutionary War. Chinese, remember, there's an old bromide that says you got a Chinese chance in hell, which meant the Chinaman, if he looked at you the wrong way, the same way as if a black person looked at you the wrong way, he was dead. He was only allowed to work on the railroads and serve inside houses and do coal mine work. But other than that, forget about it. This has been going on since man has stepped out of the ewes to become a Neanderthal. It's all human nature. It's all what we do on this planet is conflict and more conflict. So that's, those are my opinions.
Well, let me ask you this, Joe. If that's the ultimate cause is the inferiority complex, what do you think is the remedy? How can one overcome it?
Well, by associating with other people who you consider to be superior to and finding out that they're not exactly your inferiors. When you do that, you eventually begin to learn. If you don't do that, then forget about it.
Yep.
That's interesting. I appreciate you for sharing that perspective.
Well, the prime example is like when people go to jail. White prisoners and black prisoners don't mix. Not supposed to. It's supposed to stay by race. But if they do mix long enough,
really?
They do. Oh yeah.
I did not know that even. Wow. Okay. New for me. I know that.
But if you do mix, you eventually find out that not everybody is as you thought they were to be. But it takes a long, outside of prison. People don't want to stay with their own kind. You can't blame them. But what they shouldn't do is say, okay, you're not my kind, therefore I feel that I have the right to do whatever I want to with you. So, but that's where the deficiency of human nature comes in. And if you don't believe that it's human nature, I don't know if I said this on your show before, but I'm going to pose it to you now. If, for example, any nation, any small country had the power to go to another, meeting now, had to go to another planet, and they found out that on that planet there was a lot of gold, uranium, radium, silver, cobalt, etc. And the people of that planet were about 100, 150 years behind in armaments, and the level of armaments that they had. In other words, if they wanted to defend themselves from having their natural resources stolen, they couldn't do it. Now, if China, America, Russia, Brazil, Japan, etc., if anybody went to that planet, found that type of situation, do you think they would try to negotiate with those people? Or do you think that after about 30 days of impatience, they would just take the minerals away and either kill everybody there or colonize them? What do you think would happen?
That? Take by force. Yeah.
Human nature. That's the way we Homo sapiens on this planet are. How other beings are on other planets, I don't know.
I can agree with that. People do take a lot of things for granted. I do agree with that.
Joy, are there in particular people who you feel as though you're superior over?
Everybody.
Understood.
That's you too, little doctor. Not just me.
I'm superior to just about everybody because I do practice what I preach.
Okay.
I do mean what I say, and I say what I mean, and keep my lies down to the barest minimum. Most people supposedly lie 3 times a day. I don't think I've told more than 50 lies in my entire lifetime. But that's a lie.
51, but that's okay. That's
the biggest. That's the biggest. And I'm glad you told me because that was the biggest lie I've ever told. So 53. That's 53 is right. There you go. Yeah, I'm going to keep on counting too. So that's the way it is. Yeah. Let me tell you something else. When I talk about lies, and we were talking about human nature, I've come to a conclusion the past week or so. I want to see if you guys will agree with me. Just based on circumstantial evidence, no real 24-karat gold evidence. I believe that as a result of the so-called authorities on this planet taking oxygen, carbon dioxide out of the atmosphere, excuse me, and cutting down trees and polluting the ocean and the land, and as a result, the vaccine as well, I believe that that is being done by aliens. That terraforming of the planet is being done, not just done by human nature. Human nature would destroy the planet, but keep the planet green. In other words, they would destroy the people in order to become gods, but keep the planet green so that they, as the rulers of the planet, would have a nice, spacious, rich, fertile planet to enjoy. But the terraforming of the planet, to me, is being done by people or things who are not born on this planet. I've come to that conclusion just the last week, and I stand by it.
What made you come there? I mean, what solidified it? And he's like, okay, yep, and that's it. Got it. That's it.
What? Say that again, too?
I said, what made you solidify and say, yep, that's it, that right there? When you said you came into it this week, I'm just wondering what convinced you. What did you see or hear?
Oh, I guess it was just the last straw to break the camel's back. Hearing about it again. Yeah, hearing about it again. Seeing what's going on. I guess just an accumulation of everything just came together to say, you know what? There's just too much information for me to take a look at. And especially with what they're doing to the planet, the climate change. And listening to answer your question more pointedly, Tilly, Alex Jones had on a guest who was a geoengineer for the last 20 years. And he said that in his research and his endeavors to try to maintain the climate way before all of this climate change came about, that by his observations of what Gates has been doing with his projects of trying to dim the sunlight, taking the carbon dioxide out of the air, liquefying it, he says that everything that's being done is destroying the planet. And since it's been going on for years, why are they doing it for years? It's not as though it's a mistake. If it's a mistake, you correct it. But if you know something that a decision of yours is being done to really be counterproductive to what your agenda is, and you continue with that mission, you're deliberately doing it.
So does he think it's the same thing in reference to the climate? You said the climate change, like things that are used to determine the climate. Does he use those or believe in those things and think that maybe that's causing us damage to the climate? You know how we have those, we simulate stuff so much in the weather and we could be, does he think that?
Well, when you have weather control, which he says all the
weather machines and stuff like that.
Yeah. Well, the weather change, the climate change is done by man. A lot of it's done man-made. So he says that's a lot of that.
Did that believe that? Yes.
Yeah. He believes that. So, I suppose that probably was a straw that broke the camel's back. Just accumulation of all that type of stuff. Plus, he's been doing it for 20 years. So I guess that probably solidified it. And I'm just thinking, why would people? It's one thing. Psychotics, they'll go down the blaze of glory, right? You probably heard that expression, seen it in the comic books, seen it in movies. Come after me, I'll go down in a blaze of glory. Come get me, copper. I'll kill you, me too, and everybody else.
Black folks don't talk like that. I ain't never heard that, Joe. Sorry, we don't do stuff like that.
Okay.
We don't say come kill me, and fire. We don't play with fire and stuff like that. That ain't our thing. But go ahead with your story.
All right. But nobody wakes up in the morning and says, I'm going to burn down my house with me in it. Okay. But that's what they're doing. when you're destroying the planet the way that they are, you're burning down your house with you in it, which means you can't survive this transformation unless something weird is going on. What's that weird thing going on? If you can't survive, then either you're not human or you think you're going to survive, and how are you going to survive if you're destroying the planet on purpose? So that's to me saying, you know, if you can believe in God, if you can believe in demons, then why can't you believe in aliens? Have you ever seen an alien before, Joe?
Oh, don't
I've only talked to you, Tony.
That's not what's your name? That is
that's Love Doctor.
Love Doctor. Only to you, Love Doctor. Wow. Now, if anything I've said doesn't make sense, let me know. Okay.
That was a good question. Have you seen an alien before? Have you seen an alien before?
Was that? Wow. So everybody believes in UFOs. I believe in UFOs. I did not know if aliens existed or not. As you know, I'm an atheist. I'm an agnostic. I have that kind of attitude towards everything. Unless there's 24 karat gold proof in front of me, then I say, yeah, there might be another reason for why this happened. Right? So, if it's true that what they're doing to the planet, taking out carbon. Now, look, everybody who's gone to high school chemistry or biology knows that we need carbon dioxide for the trees to absorb so that the trees can give us oxygen. If they're destroying the oceans have algae. Algae actually produces more oxygen than trees do. But they're also cutting down the trees, and from what I understand, they're probably not replacing them the way they should. So if they're cutting down and destroying so if they're destroying the sources of oxygen, that goes beyond stupidity. That has to be, in my opinion, aliens. So why not?
You still haven't asked the question, Joe. Have you ever seen an alien? You know.
Well, like I said, I don't
believe in it, and then he'll question the existence of a higher being.
No. Not except for the ones that I mentioned. Yeah, only the ones in my family should have been aliens.
Let me ask you a question. Do you feel like those aliens are more or less intelligent?
If they're destroying the planet the way they are, they probably are more intelligent than we are.
But you never seen them?
No.
But you believe them. But you don't believe in them. You believe in UFOs.
UFOs you've seen videos of. Okay?
But aliens, no, that's not true. Let me say this.
You've never seen videos of UFOs?
You said it was a spaceship. Let me say, if you seen it and you said you saw the UFO spaceship, then at that point it couldn't be a UFO because a UFO is an unidentified.
It's an unidentified flying object, which means it could be a spacecraft either created.
We probably saw one. If it's unidentified and it's a flying object, it could actually be an airplane.
Yeah. It doesn't have to be a flying saucer.
It's a flying object. Yeah.
Yeah.
It could actually be
So everybody knows about them, but nobody I know has ever seen and touched an alien, because if they have, I know that a lot of people have said they've been abducted by aliens, but where's the audio recording? Where's where's the video recording?
You can't if they recorded.
Right? A lot of people say, I walked out of my house and I got picked up in a beam of light. I saw Scotty from Star Trek beam me up. They went away for a nice little trip around Mars, came back, had lunch. But no, they never have a video recording on the camera. Everybody has a cell phone, but nobody has a picture of an alien. It's amazing.
How do we get the alien pictures in?
Joe is off the chain.
Right.
And you think about this, Joe. and I think everybody think about this. The only reason you call it unidentified, when I say you, not you, a system, is because they're saying, based off of their charts and what they know, you are considered something far out and stranger than me because you don't come up on my radar, my screen for everything else I've labeled. And that's similar to what happens to us as the so-called Negro in America, because we don't come up on his radar screen or his chart where he classifies everything. Like how you call a person, when I say you, not you personally, a radical, an extremist. These are things you put on your radar. Anybody that thinks outside of this normalcy that we declare to be normal will be an extremist. If a person is willing to fight to defend their rationality and right, then that person at that point would be, extremist, and at that point radical, and now they have to be taken down. And the same thing they want to do with aliens. And this is the problem becomes you believe in something that they can't identify, that they say it, and you bought it. Like I said, no one's seen an alien, but you talk about this planet, this place where these aliens are taking goods from here. For those of us like me, I'm a believer in Elohim, Yahuwah. It's only one supreme ruler. And he comes up on my radar chart. I think a lot of times with people that take on the agnostic, whether to believe neither way or anything, or take the knowledge of the identity that man is, quote unquote, God, which makes no sense. We don't believe in God. Then what is a God? Because it has to be something that classifies it, that identifies it. So I think that people want to believe. It's just that, we've been told so much stuff. We watch so many different things that it's just easier not to believe in him, but to believe in something else that you say has the same ability and power as Elohim. So it's kind of one of them things where it's kind of really contradictory. If you ever thought about it, because man saying he's God, what is God? That's like, I'm superior. I'm not. So he's telling you that he is. And because you do not see him, you can see the identity of his work, because nowhere man couldn't have built this planet. The planet was here before man. I don't think whether agnostic or whoever would have to agree that man wasn't in space breathing and then he popped and he just floated into the planet. He was put here and the planet was here before him. It's just getting back to the knowledge of what is the purpose of man. And I think then we will stop looking at each other as aliens and believing something about each other that we had never seen. Just like you said, you believe an alien is superior, smarter, but you never seen it. So it's like, how would you believe that? So there's a belief system there. We got things that we do see every day. And of course, Joe, don't think you are the answer for everybody white. That's not being said to anybody. I think everybody should justify themselves. But if the world could now and learn to just take the time out to just learn enough about a person to say when you see them do something, that's their culture. And it takes away the hate and the discrimination when we know each other. Because I understand you. I understand what it is that you're doing. I need you to understand me and what I'm doing. If I choose to stay here and operate like this is not, oh, you don't love people, you hate people, oh, you racist. No, this is me in my space. I don't care what color you are. Then we understand each other versus we prejudge, have these preconceived notions about each other without knowledge. And I think it's good that man do. And then, like you have the right to be agnostic, whatever, and nobody should be walking around in front of your house throwing Bibles at you, slamming on your door, trying to pull you out the window to take you to church Sunday. These are choices that people have to make based upon what's on their radar chart. Like, I identify with it. He makes sense on my chart. You know what I'm saying? My Richter scale is like off the chain with this man. It makes sense. Another person has that right to not believe or believe whatever, as long as it ain't hurting, killing, raping, and taking from other people, and we respect each other. So that's what you believe. It ain't, he the worst thing in the world. He's not the worst thing in the world. That's what you choose to believe. And then we accept each other as color. That's just who you are. You're dark, you're white, you're tan, you're reddish skin, you're yellowish. That's just who you are. And we just all exist.
Right.
What do you think about that, Joe?
Mm-hmm. Well, I think it's a noble ambition. But it's like when Mahatma Gandhi was in England, and one of the prime ministers said to him, Mahatma, now that you've seen Western civilization, what do you think of it? And Mahatma Gandhi said, sounds like a good idea.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, oh,
good one.
Yeah, I think when he was a child molester, one of the racist. Yeah, he had some issues.
Mahatma Gandhi?
Yeah, but Gandhi had some problems. He was racist against black.
He was a racist.
I don't know. Yeah, look it up. Yeah, you get a chance, look it up. I mean, just look it up.
Okay.
I mean, let me say this. Every man has, people write about you based upon, every writer has their emotions involved in their conceptions about you. From when you talk to people build, kind of like a collage of you. And then then they would explain you, based off me dealing with you and what I know about you, this was actually for your position. You're actually the type of person. Now, you would be gone typically, so we wouldn't be able to talk to you to find out you're in the why your stance is with me. And like I say, that's what I think we ought to get to. Communicate like this show, where we can communicate, people can express. Then we come together and we come up with an idea, that we make and formulate to, this is our decision. But first we got to, talk about the form the idea. Then when we say this is our decision, we act upon it. You get this, you get that. You will be respected. You will be respected. This is what, and then we live. I think it's going to come a time if the world continues, and when I say this, I'm going to ask you another question I need to know. I think it's going to come to a point where the people are going to have to take down all of the governments in all these countries and reestablish them. Now, those top elites are all in cahoots together on keeping the people oppressed, because if you let the people get too many goods, then the people will have power. And when the people have power, the people will change the government. So you keep the people poor, you keep the people divided, you keep the people sick, you keep the people broke to where, you ain't got time. Hey, man, what we going to do? We got 2 more years. They're like, hey, get out of my face. I'm just trying to pay people. Well, now, Joe, this on that. How is your love life?
Oh, yeah. Let's talk about it, Joe. Let's talk about it, Joe.
I had to know about it. Tell us about your love life. Give us some business about it.
Well, look, Doctor, I have to say, in the spirit of communication, for me to talk about my love life with you ain't happening.
Yeah, we thought you were going to give us some advice. This Tony, by the way, he said, I love, we thought you were going to give us some advice. He said, it ain't happening. Have you met anybody new?
Any new
victims? I haven't met any new victims. Is that what Julie said? Any new victims?
Yeah.
I thought she said that. Yeah. I'm always looking for new victims. I haven't found any lately.
Hilarious.
Thing is about relationships. I had a very good discussion the other day about why men and women don't get along. It's because the expectations that we have of one another, the expectations that we have. We believe that when we meet somebody, we want them, if we like them, we want them to be that Disneyland fantasy that men and women have been conditioned to expect. The women want this tall, dark, handsome, strong man who never shows any kind of vulnerability. He's always going to rescue them. The man, we have lesser expectations. We don't care about having a Xena by our side, but we do want the woman to show us the respect and appreciation that we as men deserve. Now, when you have women who are conditioned to be princesses because they're allowed to put on makeup to hide their zits and their imperfections, and they look good as a result of the mascara and the foundation, all that kind of good shit. Then, when they feel that, then it's pretty hard to break through that kind of barrier because now they feel with the mores of our society. Also telling women, you can do anything you want, but you can be a princess on Monday, a feminist on Tuesday, a traditionalist on Wednesday, and the man is there to do what you want him to do for you because you are the sweetest thing on the planet. When you have that, that's all. Men and women do not get along because of the expectations of what we think that the other person should provide. Now, I know you guys appreciate the way that I can do thumbnail analysis of the most complex topics on the planet.
Skill, you're definitely skillful. He definitely skilled. Oh yeah.
Absolutely. That's right. I appreciate that.
Sure.
That might be.
So again, if anything I've ever said doesn't make sense, just let me know.
Hey, Joe, we appreciate you.
That's good to know, Tony.
Yeah, and we appreciate
That's right. We definitely appreciate you for listening. Call
next
anyway.
week. And make sure you have next week, you better tell us about your new girlfriend.
Now, if I had a new girlfriend, I wouldn't be on the show. All right. I do that.
That's right. Goodbye.
That is true. That is true.
Okay.
Not.
I'm sorry. Did he get cut off? I think Tony got cut off. Something happened. Hold on. Or did he hang up? Something happened with their lines. Looks like. I don't know if he hung up or not. Hello?
I'm still here. Is Dr. Joe still here?
Oh, okay. Yes. Okay. Tony is there.
Yeah.
Hello, did you hang up or did I just... That's what you said with Joe. It said, both y'all did
it dropped me. Both of me and Joe were talking. Boom, boom. Yeah, we appreciate Joe. Joe hit us next week. Love Doctor, tell us about your love life.
That's right, man. That's right, man. Oh yeah. Life is an open book. Only time will tell. It is an open book, and we only know the future because the future only knows us. And you take it one step at a time, and don't run too fast, and you don't run too slow.
There's some known unknowns. There are some things.
Things are going so far, so good. Time will tell. Only time will tell.
How long has it been?
Oh, what are we talking about?
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's been a minute. Just a little minute.
What side is cold?
Yeah, it's just been a little minute.
What happened?
And this is not Hinder or Thunder, right?
It's a live with
Don't believe it. Speaking about that Thumbelina, there's actually, I don't know if y'all been aware, but y'all know there's a show that came up. There's a remake. It was The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. I know we all grew up watching The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, but now they just did a recent revision. 2022 revision of it. Well, now they have Carlton is a crackhead. Little girl Ashley is gay. Oh yeah, she's trying to figure out how to be a child in school and how to identify being gay. Right. Oh yeah. She going through the whole thing. How do I ask a girl? Oh yeah. This code is destroying everything.
That's crazy.
Listen. What they're doing is they're helping to fester what they've already done. Will Smith is a part of the destruction of his own race. Showing that, putting it there. Look, Will was always clean cut, remember? When it was young ago, he was always clean cut rapper. Then he was family, so he got the show. He was always he was always Will Smith, this clean cut. He got with Jada, Baltimore crackhead, and drug him off. He started swinging. Now the man is so far out. He
never been the same.
He hadn't. He was
all his kids crazy. How all your kids end up crazy?
And
your kids who turn up regular, all his kids crazy.
Listen,
Yeah,
they
that's
swing.
Grandson. They're not okay. Mm-hmm.
Ain't no telling them letting them kids
be free.
Do some of everything. They don't let them kids do some of everything.
Yeah, I know.
I know.
Okay.
The whole thing is just tragic. The fact that these kids are being reared up in this foolishness, and now they're damaged adults, but you're not gonna correct. You know what I'm saying? No doubt somebody touching them, swinging parties, people hanging around the house, people kids. You think you could trust them, and now they probably gonna tell them, "Hey, such touch me." This went on. That's why everybody, you gotta be careful where you leave your kid. Who keep your kid? You can't just take stuff for granted. That's just flat. You cannot do it. You have to be in that area where you're on top of your kid, because you don't know. It'd be a sister, uncle, cousin. It's bad. Grandparent. We were growing up, it was unheard of. Uncles, aunts. You know what I'm saying? Doing all this foolish and dad. It was, but it happened. It's just people never talked about it. So it wasn't as prevalent because we didn't have the knowledge of it. Let me say that. But now, man, it's anything go. They trying to pass, hey, they had a school where this doctor wrote about, what was this, professor? He made the comment, I think they had video of him when he was talking about something about a 3-year-old kid. I remember that, and a lot of faculty came out and wrote supporting, like, he had his right, or whatever. It was wow. I remember that. It just happened. Wow, that was crazy. Somebody called a person I remember. You know, the professor told the kid.
I got it. The Virginia University assistant professor said he has a sexual attraction to kids. Well, a sexual attraction to kids is not always immoral.
I heard that.
And the faculty was 80 other wrote in support of him. But listen, then it was I think 80 of the faculty wrote in support of him.
What? You know what? That makes sense. He must have had to. Otherwise, you wouldn't go public saying stuff like that unless you felt confident enough to do it.
Right. You just think that way by yourself. Exactly. That's
right.
Mm-hmm. Right. Mm-hmm.
It's crazy. It's crazy, but it's amazing how they show us. On one hand, you'll say, "Hey, this is a successful TV show of a thriving family." You know what I mean? Black, rich, successful, and then you see all these different elements of poison that they put in there to contaminate the whole thing.
It's really bad. I have to. It's really bad. You saw that little episode where the teacher is telling the girl it's okay to like the same sex. Don't worry about it.
On the show?
Yeah, on the show. On the show.
Her sister Hillary, she got a sister named Hillary. Y'all remember Hillary on Fresh Prince? Hillary, her older sister, is telling her how it's okay to like other girls and all that stuff and don't feel bad. Everybody get their heart broken before. It's just ridiculous.
Yeah, very. It's horrible. It's horrible.
Oh, we got a call.
I guess I gotta look and see what they're talking about. Hello, caller. Welcome to the show.
It must, you have to restrain yourself for weeks not to cut me off, and then all of a sudden you said, "I'm getting Joe out of here." So you must have just cut me off out of habit, right? I know that.
First of all, it'd be impossible for me to do it for both of you at the same time. Number one, sirs, and I would not do it to either of you. Well, I wouldn't do it to one of you. Ha ha.
Yeah, one of us. I know which one would be. That would be me. But that's okay. All right. Okay. Well, I'm back. And I was listening to you guys talk. I haven't watched any Fresh Prince. What is that? That's on cable or what?
It's online.
It's online?
Yeah, it's a season of several episodes that's online.
I didn't know that. Okay, I didn't know that.
Oh yeah, it's not just one. It's not like one movie. It's a whole season full of different episodes.
So
every episode it's just so far off fixed from what the original TV show is about. It's like wow.
Maybe that's why it's on that off for off network. What you think? You don't
Remember
say it's
Jeffrey
not.
the Butler?
Yeah, what about him?
Jeffrey the Butler is like a hitman, a bodyguard hitman who handles things for the family, taking care of dirty business for the family is what Jeffrey does.
So, please tell me, is Uncle Phil a lawyer or something? Or what? I mean, a judge?
Uncle Phil is currently running to be a big-time politician. Is what he's doing.
So he's a crooked politician with the mob in his pocket with Jeffrey?
Jeffrey still is there, you know, in the estate with the family. It's just Jeffrey is not the butler. Jeffrey is the hitman who handles all the favors.
What about Aunt Vivian? What about that lady?
Do they have any of the original cast members back?
No, they don't. Aunt Vivian is an artist on the verge of having an affair and cheating on her husband. So she's on the verge of having an affair with Uncle Phil. Yeah.
Okay.
It's a lot of stuff going on. Yeah, it's a lot of stuff going on. That's so far.
I mean, but this ain't that. It's not like it's.
You sure this
like,
isn't a satire?
Exactly.
It sounds crazy, doesn't it?
It's that far-fetched from the original episode.
But guess how far we are. Look how we
they can't get away with it. Something like that,
Yeah.
they can't get away with in today's censorship. What do they call it?
Censorship.
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 No, it's two words. It's cancel culture. I'm sorry. That's it.
That's way off. That was so far.
That wasn't even close. That wasn't even close.
Yeah, censor cancel culture. Yeah.
I got it.
So, I mean, it has to be satire because that would be run, and if it was on major TV, it would be run right off the air now.
I don't think it is on major TV. They didn't say it was on regular TV, right? You said it was on some kind of like off channel.
Yeah, it's on a web series. So if it's online, it's on some sort of web series.
It's not right. So, but
I'm going to look it up now, as a matter of fact.
You know, if we had seen that version when we back in the day when that first aired that original, I think it would have been a problem. But this is what we are today.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's why I'm saying it's satire because you can't say anything. Well, if you can't say anything against blacks today, then there's no such thing as saying anything against black people today. Otherwise, you're a racist.
Yep.
Even black comedians have to hold back their act.
Yeah, that's true. Black comedians, they do now. Now they do.
I never heard that one.
That's a lot. Well, the people that these people are not what you would consider to be a comedian, but you know, they carry that title. So yeah, because you know some people aren't funny, but yes, that's the problem that they're having right now. That's why they can't be as funny as they want to be or could be because of the sensitivity of
how about Chappelle? I forgot his first name, but Chappelle he talks about that.
Yeah, he does talk about a lot of that stuff. You're absolutely right.
Yep.
But they just comedians. They tell jokes, you know. I don't really look to them for any type of valuable information to be spewing out, you know. I mean, their mark in life is, hey, you know, I'm the funniest person in the room. Who can be funnier than me?
Yeah, but I like George Carlin. George Carlin to me was the Mark Twain of our time.
He was. I've seen a lot of his clips, man. You know what I tell you about a lot of his clips? They seem to be timeless in the sense of I watched a lot of the stuff he talked about, and I didn't realize these were like video clips almost 20 years ago. Because he passed quite a while ago.
Well, he passed away 10 years ago at the age of 71. Yeah, and he knew about what was happening. George Carlin. He was talking about how America's owned by the lobbyists, crooked politicians, how religion is bullshit, politics is bullshit, and what else? And the media. Oh, and he talked about business being bullshit, how they don't treat the customers right, and he mainly had an anti-American sentiment. Yep, he sure did.
What you mean? Oh,
he was a mean son of a bitch too. Did you ever see the video of what happened of what he did when somebody heckled him?
No,
I never seen Kilton being heckled.
Oh, you gotta go see. Go look it up on YouTube. He
don't do that, man.
It's not funny. I tell you that, but it's mean as hell. He says, if you the one with the big mouth, what we're going to do, we're going to drag you out of here because of your big mouth. I think he said stomp on you. He said, we're going to kill your kids.
Wow.
Okay. He either said, we're going to kill your kids or hope your kids die in a car crash or some shit like that.
Wow. Sounds like something you heard Mike Tyson would say.
No, that was it's just when you do it to the people. We hear that. We see that every day. They say it. But anyway. Nothing worse than actually seeing it.
So you can look it up on YouTube. Heckle, George Carlin being heckled. Yeah. When I heard that, I said, "Holy Jesus!" I mean, the guy was mean. Angry son of a bitch, you was.
I don't know his mama. But
Joe, do you do him?
Do I do him? Yeah. I do Rodney Dangerfield.
What? Yeah, try you some help. Help you kind of relax on out a little bit more and mellow on out, and you'll see them.
I tell you, you told me asking me if I do George Carlin. Hey, I tell you, I do Rodney Dangerfield. Hey, okay.
I got it. Yeah, we go here all the time. We appreciate it.
We're not paying for that.
Yeah, you would, Tilly. You don't want to cut me off 10 minutes ago, so I know you're not.
Oh my goodness!
You've been dying to do that anyway.
So you know.
Well, you cut me off too. I cut off too.
See ya.
Love Dollar was trying to tell us about his love life. And see, you made us. I was just digging away, getting the right questions. We were trying to find out, was it Thunder, or either Hannah? So, but we just make sure one of those two young ladies, he should be good.
I know that's right. How you been, Dr. Joe? Dr. Joe, you been kind of quiet this whole episode, Dr. Joe. You got anything? The life of therapy, how things been going on, Dr. Joe?
I'm listening and I'm analyzing. But I would like to know, Joe, where do you reside? Where is it that you live? What state?
Montana.
Montana.
Montana, really?
Mm-hmm. Y'all never figured that.
Oh, man. How is it in Montana right now? Is it snow all over the place or what? It's nice and cold, but not as cold as you think. It's colder in places like Michigan or around the Great Lakes than it is here. I don't even know what the capital of Montana is. What is the capital of Montana?
Grill.
What?
Washington, D.C.
Montana Grill.
Montana.
Or it could be Joe Montana.
That's why Joe's in Montana. We're gonna call you Joe Montana.
That's the new name.
Yeah, that's your name, Joe.
Well, blue skies. I mean, look, Montana and a few other states. We're the only ones that really practice the Second Amendment. About carrying guns.
Yeah, without permit. Well, a lot of states. Georgia signed into law this year. Their constitutional carry.
Well, they got to get all that time. Face to April coming, so we might not be. That might not come to pass.
Oh, you think she gonna win again?
She is running again.
No, winning.
Yeah, she is. She qualified.
Oh, she made it official. I haven't seen her announce it.
She did, hon. Everybody's like, she did. She did.
Well, she could do it. She's not gonna win. Nobody put
no, she ain't gonna win.
Nobody want to be bothered.
No,
Well, what's gonna have to happen is, yeah.
He man get a constitutional carry. He finna cut gas prices. The man kept Atlanta. He kept Georgia open during the pandemic.
The whole time.
Down, we still thrive. The man is gonna get reelected. He did the best job here.
Mm-hmm.
He never. When they broke up, even the religious hypocrites, when they couldn't go to church, kept the one saying, hold on for a minute. How can these people not go to church? This is their faith. You can't live with the police and sheriff was saying you couldn't have services. He stepped in, he said, that's people's faith. We're in a crisis. How you going to keep people away from their faith? And he stood up for that, so I respect that. We know whether you're atheist or believer, he didn't come out and defend one religion. He came out for the fact that this is people belief. How you gonna tell these people they can't go and observe their religious belief?
That's all political theater, in my opinion.
Yeah,
because they all say one thing. In 2021 and say something different in 2022 when it comes time to get reelected. I don't trust a goddamn politician in Congress or in government. In government, period.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm serious.
What I tell people.
Not one.
I have been a major proponent against politicians and about supporting them. But I tell you something I come to learn, Joe, and I tell everybody as time go on, we get smarter. I'm not saying you like you're dumb, just saying for me. You start realizing in order to, to change things, we have to get people and make people that we can put in these offices to change it. Because a lot of people feel like you, and I was the one for years, man, forget them. And that's true. A majority of them are right. It might be 1% of that much out of all of it, like come in with the intent of really trying to change something, which they'll be blocked. You won't know them. But if we're going to change any of these systems, we have to start, building our politicians, culturing them on what you represent when you go in and holding them accountable to that. That's how we'll start to move up to a bigger scale. But if we all take the approach of set back and right, stay away from it, that's why we don't ever get any better. They only get worse and worse because we're not at least, like, I'm not the one to say, well, just go grab a politician. That's an idiot. But we can formulate a person, create a person that these are our needs. You know what I'm saying? Not just on a racial end, it's the people. And then we make sure when we put you in this position, you understand you have a duty to people. We know it won't involve everything we want, even finesses for the men, because you got to respect all people in rights. But we got to go with a majority on something. And we got to create these people because they're getting away with putting more and more rotten politicians in there because enough of us good people, Joe, saying, forget it, damn them all, and they just keep running versus we can say, you know what, I see the problem here. Let's fix it. Let's talk. Let's get an idea. Let's make it a consensus, and let's make a decision on it, and let's change it. That's what we're about, Joe. That's what we got to do. You get you some hemp, Joe, and watch that thing just really just float you on out. You'll start seeing your aliens. But no, you see them aliens, you're going to put something on top of it. You just do hemp. You just relax when you go to sleep. If you start seeing them aliens when you do CBD, Joe, it's got some white stickers on it. That's that little powder mix. Don't do that, Joe.
Well, I'm taking a look at the new Prince of Bel-Air. I'm seeing some aliens right now. I'm
seeing those two live there. I haven't seen it, but I won't watch it.
Hilarious.
I won't watch it. I believe it's crazy. I don't even want to watch it. I already know.
No, I'm looking on IMDb. They've got
What is that?
Series 1, Episode 7, Payback's Bitch. Now, that's something that would never have been said back in the day.
That's the name of the show?
That's the name of the show.
Yeah, that's the name of the episode.
Oh yeah. And Will curses at his parents and stuff too. Oh yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, he curses at his parents?
He does. I don't know anything like that. This thing will be worse than Martin justified the shacking up and the dumb idiot friends. Now he's finna influx our kids with, you know how many kids gonna watch, but he's a businessman and he'll do it at the expense. He came in winning kids over with his singing. Yep. Now he caught their attention and now he's coming back now to tear our homes up because he's mad because his kids have failed. It makes no sense to show any people that those shows, especially kids of your race, when you know for a fact where we are. He is more detrimental and harmful to us than any drug, any disease. That's true. I don't have people watch it. I hear people talk. I just tell myself, I couldn't watch it. It don't make sense to me. I mean, why am I going to watch this show? It pulls us in. I know people say, well, I'm just kind of just looking at this thing. But if you ain't careful, it pulls you in and it'll help pray. It'll change your opinion about things. That's the purpose of news. That's the purpose of newspaper, magazine, book, is to get people to formulate opinions in the way you want them to go. And a show like that is designed to tell what people are going to watch that show majority. It's going to be people of color. People of color are already dealing with stressed out with it. People say, well, it's television. It's up to you to take care of what's in your home. Our home was invaded, just like Ukraine. The Russians came in on it. The Mayflower, the Pinta, and the Santa Maria. And they came in on us, and they tore our homes up. And now our kids are dysfunctional. They don't know whether they're men or women. And now he's flustering his foolishness with this show, this rhetoric, that's only going to do more and deeper damage to our people. You know what's going to be said? This is not white people. This is your own people. Yeah. But there are people that are in support that allow his movies to be shown. And those people need to be boycotted. That station that allow it in should let them know, because we see it harmful. We'll say a crack that was on our street years ago. Mothers came out. Again, hey, we don't want y'all neighborhood. They succumbed to it, and this is life. Now you can't get to your house. You told the crack dealer, you ain't want me in your neighborhood, let's run him out. Now, you sit here and you live with it, and you don't say nothing. It's his neighborhood. Yep.
You know what you want to hear something?
Yeah.
It says Bel Air, a Peacock original. Now, guess who the executive producer is? Will Smith?
No.
Will Smith.
Yeah, he signed off on the show. He wrote it.
But it's like Tony said, everything that's happening with him, he's changed but to me, it's like, be aware that while there's a war going on, there's a mental war going on here. Please, parents.
Yes,
I'm very concerned with everything that they're showing on TV, what they're teaching our kids in schools. Parents, be responsible. There's a mental warfare going on in here while they're over there destroying Ukraine. And we're so concerned about that war while our kids are being destroyed here mentally. And it's just, to me, it's concerning everything that's happening, what they're teaching to teach these kids, and the shows that they're showing on TV, and it is our responsibility to become aware of what's happening and educate ourselves and guard our kids, because it is incredibly insane what they're teaching and showing our kids on TV and on school. They're telling the kids in school it's okay to be gay, it's okay to like this, it's okay to like animals. Be happy. Please, parents, be aware and just educate yourselves. It is insane what I've encountered this week and what they're teaching our kids. So I just wanted to say that show is ridiculously it's just nasty to me.
You're right. You're absolutely correct.
Yeah.
It's extremely dangerous. You think about this, Bill Cosby, showing you the power of white. When Bill was convicted for a sexual charge in 1970 that was sealed and held and kept, made no sense to be brought back up from a woman who said she had been raped and drugged, who came to his bedroom, his wife wasn't there, to sit on the bed and drink wine. Where was this going? You sitting in my bedroom on my bed, we drink wine. And you know I'm married to my wife. We know where it's going. But this is the foolishness. But they ran his shows off. They ran them off, showing you can't come on television. You're too detrimental. You rape women. You knock women out with drugs. But you putting a show on that's going to be a major part of destructing our homes and our families. We're trying to restore dignity and trying to put that respect in our homes. And this that's right. Now you got the kid cussing out the parent, the butler's a hitman, the sister don't know whether she gay or straight. This is so dysfunctional. I can't see how nobody sat down and watched it and took the time to watch the second, third, and the fifth episode. You are feeding yourself with this stuff. So you have to be careful what you input in you, even with people, because you're going to hold some, whether against them or in faith. You say something to me right now, like, I'm either going to hold something against you or something in favor with you. If I watch and support that foolishness, then it's going to, at some point, at some end, it's going to filter through. I'm accepting this show now as a norm. Yep.
That's right.
It's got to stop. Yep. Especially when it's hurting you. Oh, yeah.
It is insane. It's mental ridiculous.
We have another call.
We have done a long time now. Who is that?
Yep. Hey, Colin, welcome to the show.
Hey, how y'all doing?
Hey, great. How about you?
I'm all right.
Yep.
I'm pretty good. Just wanted to say, with everything going on, there was a lot, especially just sitting there just trying to stay updated. You getting bombarded is kind of depressing almost. Just not their situation, but just looking at the how they view us versus how they do them. Especially what really hit me is when on national TV they said these people like us, they got blonde hair and blue eyes, and I was like, wow. At first I thought that was a slip, but I seen them say it on more than one show. So that means that's what the presser is for them to say. That's what they supposed to say to bring everybody to join their cause. So I'm like, that's crazy. But I'm kind of looking at things different because I was thinking about calling the other week while all this is going on with the focus being on Ukraine and Russia. What you not being shown is over in Africa. Mali just expelled France, all of their military. They getting rid of their currency. They getting rid of their language. They going back to their native tongue. A lot of African countries been torn with the idea of a United States of Africa. Well, the eastern part, they finally got it done. So they got an eastern bloc. I think it's like 5 or 6 countries, like around the Congo, somewhere around that area. They formed a unified bloc. They're gonna do trade. I guess they're gonna develop their own currency. So it's like people been saying for the longest. Their defenses is down. It's time to move. And it looked like, and you said, it's a lot. It's countries in the Caribbean getting away from them. So it to me, it just looked like their system is getting ready to crumble, and people are seeing the writing on the wall, and they just going ahead and just doing what they got to do. So I think that time, like you said, what you've been trying to inspire the people to do, I think it's being done. But as you can see, it's just amazing when you log onto your computer, you go on the internet, you go through the searches, you go on YouTube, you can see the algorithms is totally hiding certain stories. It's stuff because it's stuff I know that I want to see. I have to like really dig through the search it to find it. So it's the average person would not know none of this stuff. So you just be mindful of that. A lot of it is a distraction because they don't really want you to see how bad stuff really is, which what preachers say all the time. So I just wanted to say that. Also, you was right about Gandhi too. He was a racist. it's a lot of statues in Africa that was erected in his honor, and then a bunch of countries start getting together, and they start demanding that they take them down because it's funny too because over here, especially when you think about how Martin Luther King, this movement as a blueprint is really kind of crazy. But if you understand the apartheid Africa, they have 4 classes. The whites was the first class, the blacks was the second. Then if you was mixed, you was considered color. That's 3rd class. And the Indians was 4th class. So Gandhi's whole argument is, why should an Indian be at a lower class than a black? If a white man is 1st class and we both Aryans, then we should rule over the blacks together. Which that go back to what Preacher said a long time ago too, about the Aryans coming through India. So it's just, Preacher be dropping a lot of Jews people don't really be knowing. He say check behind them. I just want to give you a props, give you flowers. You definitely be dropping a lot of information. So I looked into that a while ago, but when you said that, it just made me think back to that.
We definitely appreciate that, and that's what our people need to get more knowledge on everything we got going. Where we at? I think our radio time is about to go off on us. We appreciate you helping us out. So we appreciate you as well. Hey, we got to get ready to go up. Nobody told y'all. Hey, if anybody asks you mine, you tell me you always mine every Thursday right on 2 Mike and my mind, 8:30 p.m. Eastern. If nobody else told you they're hard. Love you. Hey, we love you. And our language is called hard. Truly, love Dr. Joe. Take us home.
Yeah.
All right. Mhm.
So next week now.
Yeah. Huh? What'd you say?
Take us home. That's right.
Okay. All right, y'all. Good night. Mm-hmm.
Good night, y'all.
Good night, y'all.
We're about to take it back.
Ladies and gentlemen, here it is.
This station is now the ultimate power in the universe.
Dr. Joe's therapy on the radio. The love got the going mind on the radio. Two mics and the mind on the radio. Radio, turn up 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 on the radio.
And the mind. Okay. You do something better, I'll do something better, and we will be better together. Until next week. Good night. Oh, you didn't tell them the information about the YouTube.
2 Mics on the Mind YouTube page. Y'all go check us out. We on YouTube. Yeah.
Number 2 Mics and the Mind. All right. Good night. Well, good night.
Good night.
Okay.
Thank you for using Blog Talk Radio. Goodbye.